Today I'm going to be unboxing this new YWM-160 multi-purpose MIG welder from Welder I bought through Amazon. In this video I'm going to show you what comes in the box, how to set it up, and I'm actually going to do a little bit of welding with it. I also have a bathroom fan that needs a little bit of fixing. I'll hopefully be able to put this thing right to use. I already have a link and stick welder, but I thought this would be nice to have for all the little projects, as well as some body work I need to do in the near future. I'll leave a link for this welder in the description below the video.
So I wanted a welder that would do flux core welding, and I ordered some wire from Welder as well. This is the 0.8 millimeter wire. This is 10-pound spool. Without plugging it in, we're just going to look it over. We got our controls back here, on-off switch, and then all of our adjustment is on the front underneath this cover. And yeah, once we get it plugged in, we'll be able to look at these settings a little bit better. These are adjustment dials. And then this is, if you want to have the electrode positive or negative, depending on what you want, you hook it to the correct polarity. So, looking at this side, this is where your wire goes. And it comes with no wire, so we're going to put some wire in it. So I'm going to screw that. Open our wire spool up here. This is obviously going to make it weigh a little bit more. So this wire is packaged so it can't get moisture. And here's the manual. Here is one of our work clamps for our ground. This is the gas hose for if you want to run like argon gas. This is a stick welder electrode. And then this is the power adapter cord, because you can run this welder on 110 or 220. So depending on what you're running it on, depends on if you need this cord or not. Okay, in this bag we have some tips and we have an extra roller. We have a welder setting chart here, and it looks like this you can actually attach right there. It's like a sticker. So to switch the roller out, you undo this dial here, and then the roller, actually we're going to loosen this up too. This is the wire tensioner. And then we can undo this, and then we can slide our roller off. So the roller has what size of wire you're running. It has a little number there that shows you, like if this is 0.9 millimeter, and so this side here is 0.8 millimeters. So what was in there was the correct setting. The 8 millimeter needs to go inside, so I can run this 8 millimeter wire. So you put that back on, snug it up, and then the setting here for the tensioner, once you get your wire fed through, then you put this down and tension it up. It does have numbers on it and little hash marks so you know where you were set last time, so whatever seems to be working, I guess. And then this will go on like this. Probably the best way to do this is to lay it on its side so that it can sit on that collar in the back. I'll set that in place, put my spacer on here, and then this spring goes on next. And then this goes on, this little plastic washer, which my nut sits inside. And then that's how I can hand tighten this. All right, so we have our wires mounted in there. We're gonna make sure we have a tip. We have a tip on it. The tips are also labeled. This one says 0.9 millimeter, this says 0.8 millimeter. And the tip that's on it right now is a 0.08, so that's perfect. So we're gonna get this out to the garage and get it plugged in, get our wire fed through, try to get our settings set, and see how this thing works. All right, so we got the welder put together. There really wasn't much to do. The MIG gun was already attached. All I really did was put the spool in there, but I don't even have the wire ran through yet. But anyway, I just want to explain to you what I'm going to do as far as power. So my understanding is this can run off a 110 and 220. If you're going to run off a 110, this welder comes with this little adapter. You plug the plug into this, and then this plugs into the wall. 110. But you have to run a lower amperage if you're going 110. I'm going to use 220, and I happen to have a plug in my garage that is 220, but it's a different configuration than this on the welder. So I bought this little adapter also on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description for all this stuff. But basically, I needed an adapter that would give me that configuration because that's what's on my wall. So I'm going to plug this into that plug, and then the welder will plug into this adapter, and we should be good. We're plugging the adapter in first. We're going to set this little beauty right here on this shelf, and then plug it into this outlet. Now my understanding is that this welder will automatically adjust for whatever voltage you're running in it. Until I get my wire spool going, I'm gonna set this down here. All right, so I got the welder plugged in. It's showing 220 volts there, so it knows we're hooked up to 220. All right, we're gonna take this off so we can get to all of our controls. So this is on stick right now, so we're gonna switch it to MIG. This is your gas selection. It's on CO2, mixed gas. We are running flux core, so we're on gasless. 2T is how the gun works. When you push the trigger, it starts and stops based on the trigger. If it's on 4T, when you push the trigger, it goes until you hit it again and then it stops. So it's like if you want a long weld, you want to lay, you can just have it on 4T. I'm leaving it on 2T. And then this one is the weld wire size. So on 0.8 millimeter, which is what we're running, so that's all set. And it's automatically set to smart, so it should be able to adjust our wire feed accordingly. So we'll see how all that works. I gotta get my wire fed through first. So you wanna make sure you have a real straight piece of wire, so we're gonna cut some of this off so we have a nice straight piece to start with. And we're gonna feed it through here, a little spring in the back. There, we're through right there, you see that? So our wire's through, so we just gotta get it lined up with the other side. Okay, once we get it started, we can flip this roller back down and flip it up, so that'll hold it in place. So now we're ready to feed some wire. So we're gonna turn this. And you wanna make sure your gun is as straight as possible. And before we try to run some of this through, we're going to take this nozzle off and this tip. We don't want our wire hitting it. So we'll take the tip off. All right. So now we have all that off, and now we're just going to run some wire. It's turning on us. That's what we want. Right there. So our wire's through. So I'm going to go ahead and shut this off for a second. Put our tip back on. And then put our shroud back on, shield. All right, well, I think we're ready to give this thing a shot. These are push in and twist. So I'm gonna get my grounds pushed in the same way and twisted, hooked up. Move it over here. So I'm using this as my little welding table. All right, let's see if we have any luck with this thing. We have weld. Looking pretty nice. This is my first time using flex cord wire.
Yeah, there's nothing, is there?
No. Ooh, that burnt through there. Woo! We might want to turn it down. So we're at 25 amp. Let's just turn it down a little bit to here and just see what happens. Turn it down a little bit more. I don't recommend this kind of welding table, but this is all I have right now. We'll work on getting something better down the road. Just wanted to show you what this welder can do. pretty nice. Yeah, I know these aren't pretty welds, but just gives you an idea. It does lay down a decent weld. It's a little different welding with flux core for sure. This is pretty thin material here, probably about 1/8 of an inch, maybe less. I had to turn the welder down a little bit because it seemed a little hot. Obviously it blew through a little bit, but it seems like it's pretty smooth. Definitely think you could weld some thicker stuff like this right here. As you can see, lay down a pretty good bead there. And then for a lot lighter stuff, some weld for you. Well guys, that gives you an idea what this welder will do. That's from unboxing to laying down some weld all within an hour here probably. I've been out here messing around with this. So yeah, we'll see how it does in the long run, but I'm pretty excited about it. I think it'll work good for some of my upcoming projects. I'm doing some body work and just random projects in the farm. And guys, hope you got something out of this today. Till next time, good luck with all your projects.